When you realize it for the first time, it feels strange, like the world you've been clinging to with your hands and teeth suddenly falls apart. You start to notice people disappearing, opinions lose their weight, and things become just things. No one owes you anything, and you don't belong to anyone, not even to yourself, not to the temporary version of you that lives on autopilot, collecting fears, debts, and plans. It's scary. That voice in your head still says, but what about responsibility? What about family, debts, promises, work, stability? But look deeper. Do you really believe you can hold on to all of this? That your body will stay forever? That your apartment, your phone, your socials, even your loved ones, are truly yours? Nothing here belongs to you. Not even this body. It's rented. Even the image of yourself you defend in arguments in comment sections, just a temporary mask. And when you realize that no one belongs to you, you feel lighter. You're no longer required to suffer for someone else's script. You can just be. You can breathe. You're not here to save everyone. You're not here to be perfect. You're just here to live. And sometimes, to remember that you're not a human being. You're a player who chose this level. Sometimes it feels like it's over, like you can't go on. You want to lie down and vanish, dissolve in the dark, and be left alone. You look at life like a prison, an endless stream of problems. But what if you remembered, just for a moment, that this game isn't fun in the usual sense? It's about choices, levels, quests, growth. Think of a kid who loses a hard round on a game console. He doesn't scream, "Life's unfair." He hits restart and plays again, with fire in his eyes, with excitement. That's you. You're not tired. You just forgot. You didn't lose. You just paused. When someone says, "I want to exit the matrix, I want to leave, I want it all to stop," they forget the most important thing. You came here on purpose, out of curiosity, out of thrill, to pass this level. You chose these conditions, these surroundings, this mission. And yes, your memory was wiped, but not deleted. It's still there, in dreams, in flashes, in goosebumps from a stranger's voice, in a moment when you look someone in the eyes and know them without knowing why. You're not asleep. You've just temporarily forgotten. And now you're being invited to remember. No pressure, no demand. But if you're ready, you remember. And then the heaviness lifts. You stop dragging the world on your shoulders. You start playing. Living isn't about struggle, not about surviving, not about proving your worth. It's just about being. But that's where the problem is. You've been told the opposite since you were a kid. First, be good. Then, be useful. Then, be irreplaceable. And then one night at 3 a.m. you sit in your kitchen and whisper, "But when do I get to live?" We were taught to solve things, to endure, to save others, to carry the weight. We're proud of surviving pain, of not crying, of not complaining. But nobody taught us how to wake up smiling. Nobody said, "If you feel good, that's enough. You don't owe anyone your suffering. You don't have to be strong all the time. You're allowed not to save the world. You're allowed to let go, to walk away, to choose yourself." You know what life looks like when you stop playing the savior? You stop fixing others' chaos. You stop drowning in relationships that drain you. You stop clinging to things that have long since died. You exhale, you breathe, you live. And then something strange happens. The world doesn't collapse. People don't die without you. And for the first time, you feel alive. So many write in the comments that love is a punishment, that love hurts, that love always means suffering. But let's be honest, that's not love, that's dependency. Most of what we call love is just attachment, to parents, to their wounds, to unhealed hunger. You don't love a person, you love the gap they temporarily filled, when no one hugged you, when your father left, when your mother only loved you when you were convenient. That's where your great love stories come from. You're not falling in love, you're searching for someone to plug the hole. That's not love. That's survival. That's a starving soul grabbing at crumbs and calling it love. Remember this. Love begins where you begin. When you choose yourself. When you fill yourself. When you don't need anyone to feel alive. Then someone appears. Not a savior, not a crutch, but someone like you, whole, strong, real, because strong souls radiate like light, and parasites can't stand that light for long. They try to feed and flee when they can't. You don't owe anyone your energy. You don't have to endure pain. Love isn't about sacrifice, it's about creation. And that's not ego. That's maturity. When you choose not to save but to be, not to suffer but to live, not to fear solitude but to appreciate silence, only then does someone come along who doesn't break you, but walks beside you, in the flow, without pain. Love isn't suffering. Love is you. Everything else will leave you because it simply won't match your new frequency. We were told to search for a soulmate, a half, but whoever split us, that's a lie. You are not a half. You never were. Love isn't two broken pieces joining. Love is a whole being meeting another whole. When you're full, you don't need to be completed. You don't wait for the one. You are. And from that fullness, real love is born. Free. Fearless. Rooted in choice. Everything else is just experience. Sometimes people show up to break you, to show you where you forgot yourself. That's not a failure, it's a level. Try it, just once, off script. To the same news, the same words that usually trigger you. Give a different reaction, not a reflex, a choice. Turn right where you always turned left. Be silent where you used to scream. Go when you always stayed. It doesn't have to be correct. It just has to be free, conscious. Yes, this is a game. You're a player. There's no promised ending. No guarantee you won't come back here again. In the same script, same fear. But that's the point. You're not here because you're stuck. You're here because your soul chose this level. The hard one. With pain. With loops. With lessons. Not punishment. Experience. Sometimes you say, I don't want to be here. How do I leave? But the exit isn't outward. The exit is inward. You're not a victim. You're a screenwriter. But right now, you're reciting someone else's lines. And I know, because I played that role too. I followed the matrix, yelled, argued, proved things, reacted to every emotional wave, until one day I just went quiet and stopped feeding the old script. That's when my life finally began to write my story. Don't want to talk? Then don't. Don't want to explain? Then don't. Want to leave in silence? Do it. You owe no one an explanation. You're not a half in someone else's game. You're a master-level player. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing awareness. I'm with you. We're together. See you in the next round.